All right, we're diving into the present simple tense today. And I know, you're probably thinking, simple? I learned that in my first English class. But what if I told you that getting its advanced uses right is one of those subtle things that really separates fluent speakers from truly masterful ones?
Most of us were taught that the present simple is for things we do every day. I wake up, I drink coffee, and look, that's not wrong, but it's only about 10% of the story. Sticking to only that rule is like owning a smartphone and only using it to make phone calls. It's what holds a lot of learners back.
So let's start with a little puzzle. Just look at this sentence. We're talking about tomorrow. That's the future, right? But the verb is departs, a present tense verb. So what's going on here? How does that work? Well, by the end of our time together, you'll know exactly why the sentence is 100% correct and honestly the most natural way to say it. To get there, we have to move past those beginner rules. It's time to, install a software update for our brains, a much more powerful operating system for how we think about this tense. This is it. This is the whole key. The biggest light bulb moment you can have is to stop thinking habits and just adopt a new core philosophy. This one little shift in your thinking, it's going to unlock everything else. You ready for it? Here it is, the master key. From now on, think of the present simple not as the habit tense, but as the default setting tense. It describes things that are permanent, factual, or fixed. It's the baseline reality of the world. And this is where it all just clicks. The present simple is for the permanent reality. If I say I live in Nehai, that means it's my home, my fixed address, my default setting. But the present continuous, that signals something temporary. I am living in Nehai, that suggests it's just for now. Maybe I'm on a short-term work project, or my real apartment is being renovated. See the difference? One is the default, the other is the exception to the rule. Okay, so with that core idea of permanent versus temporary locked in, let's start building out our advanced toolkit. I'm going to give you 3 specific, high-level uses that you can start putting into practice immediately. We're going to focus on 3 super powerful tools for your grammar toolkit: the fixed future, state of verbs, and performative verbs. Let's break them down one by one. First up, the fixed future. This one actually solves our puzzle from the beginning of the video. We use the present simple for any future event that is locked into a schedule or a timetable that we can't control. Think planes, trains, meetings, movie times. Because that schedule is treated as a fixed, unchangeable fact, we use the default tense. The train leaves at 10. Simple as that. Second in our toolkit, stative verbs. Oh, this is a big one. These are verbs that describe a state of being, not an action. Verbs about the mind, our senses, or what we own. You don't say, I am knowing the answer. You say, I know the answer. You don't say, I am owning a scooter. You say, I own a scooter. That state is considered a permanent fact about you. And our third tool is a really cool one: performative verbs. This is when the act of saying the word is the action. It's almost like a magic trick. When you say, I promise, the words themselves create that promise. When you say, I apologize, you have just performed the apology. The word and the deed are the exact same thing. Theory is one thing, but let's see how this advanced toolkit actually works out in the real world. We'll look at some examples you might hear at the office or just, out on the street. Let's start in a professional setting. In business, using these forms correctly, it's not just about grammar. It's about sounding precise, confident, and frankly, like you're in command of the situation. And there it is, the fixed future rule in action. Because that meeting is on an official schedule, it's treated as a fixed event. So even though we're talking about next week, we say starts. It just sounds much more professional and definite than is starting. A perfect example of a performative verb. By saying the words, I suggest, you are, in that very moment, making the suggestion. It's a really powerful and direct way to communicate in a meeting. Okay, now let's step outside of work. You will find these rules are absolutely everywhere in casual conversation once you actually start listening for them. This is a classic example of stative verbs, specifically verbs of the senses. Smells and tastes are describing a state, an inherent quality of the food. You wouldn't say it is smelling, right? That would imply the tofu has a nose and is actively sniffing the air. Here's a little bonus one for you. You hear this all the time in jokes or when someone's telling a good story. It's called the narrative present. Using the present simple like this just makes the story feel more immediate and exciting, like it's unfolding right in front of you. All right, you've got the new philosophy. You've got the advanced toolkit. Let's put that knowledge to the test. What do you say? A quick little challenge to see if you could spot these rules in action. Okay, first question for you. The event is happening next Friday. So, do we say the exhibition A opens or B is opening? Take a second, think about the rule, lock in your answer. The correct answer is A, opens. And why? Because the exhibition's start date is part of an official fixed schedule. That's our fixed future rule. Easy peasy. Okay, next up. This time, I'm not just asking for the right form, I want to know the reason. Why do we say I apologize? Is it because it's a stative verb, a future schedule, or a performative verb? And the answer is C, performative verb. By saying the words I apologize, you are performing the action of apologizing right then and there. You see how these rules start to become second nature? So the biggest thing to take away today isn't just a list of 3 new rules. It's that fundamental shift in your thinking from habits to what's permanent versus what's temporary. Once you see the present simple as the default setting for facts and fixed realities, it just unlocks a whole new level of fluency, which kind of leaves you with a final question to chew on. What other so-called simple rules of English are just hiding a deeper, more advanced level of understanding?